Good evening mga kalaro and welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro lang channel where sportitos talk about a different kind of game. The reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I'm Chief Bisdak Joel Parcon and with me as always is Vice Chief Bisdak Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing?
Hey. Whoa, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh, where'd he go?
It's Uncle Jao!
Hey, Martin, what's this?
No, what's this? Huh?
Yeah, anyway, we've also got with us the man with the thoughts. Let's all welcome the one and only Martin. How are you doing, Marts?
I'm doing the robot. And guess who I know? Do you know Kane?
You know a different Kane as well.
I know Blue Kane as well.
So that's nice. Anyway, tonight the council will give our thoughts on episode 2 of season 45 of Survivor entitled Brought a Bazooka to a Tea Party. But before we proceed, we hope that you could click on the like button and so you get notified whenever we have new stuff on the channel. Subscribe to the channel. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Of course, we have to start with our highs. Who wants to start us off?
Bruce.
I'm gonna start us off with this.
Okay.
I was rewatching our episode from last week, and Joel said, and I quote, "Is he going to fall on the floor again?" Talking about Brandon. And you totally get the dub on that one, Joe.
So that's 1 point for me in the predictions. Yeah, that dude. My God, that dude.
I'm gonna take the dub for the Austin and Drew alliance as well.
Okay.
It's like I was like, yeah, Austin and Drew were gonna get to their alliance, but just saying, man, it was like uncanny when I was watching it back. Is he going to fall on the floor again?
Well, it was kind of easy to predict that he was gonna do something stupid.
Anyway,
I mean, this is supposed to be my lows, but why did he have to choose to walk on the slippery rock when there was sand right beside? The beach was right there.
Well, what I'm gonna say about Brandon and Emily is they're both they're one of those high and low at the same time things.
Mhm.
So like, let's just cross that bridge when we get there. But my first high is Dee's big toe.
Oh, right. Actually, that is a very, very big
Like
toe.
it's a lot higher than the rest of her toes.
Well,
And
you can't have it
high
all,
stuff,
right? I
yeah.
mean, she's a handsome woman, so you can't have it all. She's got a big toe.
And my other high is Drew. Like he's really high. It's like
And how about that beware advantage? That was high as well.
yeah, it was pretty high up.
Pretty high up. Literally.
I mean, so was the big toe, and so was Drew. They're pretty literally high.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've got a lot of highs.
Quite a lot of highs.
Right off the bat. Yeah, actually, I have in my notes. I've got a lot of highs as well. Yeah, all of those are good highs. What about you, Marts? What's your first high for us?
Well, I'm still amused by Bruce after 2 episodes, so I'm still on a high with this guy back. Well, I have to say, okay, disclaimer, both Vasile or Drew and Brandon do note that the guy's been keeping his cards close to his chest, like Bruce when they met him on the island. The thing is, it seems like from the confessionals, it's only like what Katura that's like, guys, Bruce is a threat. He's just playing you guys. He's just a happy-go-lucky, and everyone's like, "Oh, look, it's Bruce! Yeah, don't worry about him. He's just the weird, crazy uncle that does the robot, does the dance. Oh, where is he? Oh, he's gone. Oh, yeah, there's it. So, right
You
now,
can actually effectively do that, Marts. You just step back a bit, and you're gonna be gone in your with your background. Yeah, with your background. Anyway, so yeah, Bruce. Yeah, I have something to say about that. But that's in my low. But yeah, that's a high. He is bringing a different kind of energy here, an energy that we didn't get to see in his last season because he spent all of 12 hours, most of them laying down because of the huge headache that he got, the concussion that he got. from the mooring challenge.
What I find really interesting about him is there was that scene where he was like speaking ostrich. That's what I'm gonna call it, right? Where he was speaking ostrich, and then it cuts directly to a confessional where he sounds like the most level-headed person you'll ever
Yeah.
meet. I found that so interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a facade. He is putting on airs in order to lower his supposed
His
threat level.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's really good at it. I mean, he even mentioned that he had to catch himself because he was getting frustrated because the kids were just moving so slow.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
And
But
then
it's really
yeah.
bad because I'm starting to, I really, um, his character is starting to like resonate with me already, and I don't know if that's just like the sign of aging, right? Like, it's sort of like my former students,
Mm,
it's like
mm,
clean the room, come on.
mm,
Like, I'm already
yeah.
helping you clean the classroom. Let's clean the classroom, Anyway,
No sense of urgency. Yeah,
So are
again, we
palm
are
fronts
Titos.
useless for you in the classroom, Zhao?
Well,
Does
it's
that
not
waste
necessarily
time?
palm fronds. I think that he advises against weaving the palm
Weaving, yeah.
fronds. Yeah.
yeah, it just makes it smaller, and the water still gets through
Yeah.
regardless, right? But yeah, he's fun, man.
He's fun.
It's I'm just gonna get this out of the way now. This is like top 3 episode of the new era.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
Oh,
like I don't know, because all of the lows can be highs because of how they're presented.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a low, man. Like the way that he's playing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like so meme worthy. Like he name drops Kane. Come on, he name dropping Kane.
Yeah,
Like
Kane, my winner pick from last season.
like apparently he mentioned a bunch of different other like survivors, right? Because
Mhm.
he has interacted with them. But the ones that the editors chose to show was Kane
Was Kane.
specifically. Like, oh yeah, Kane, he's from Canada. Like, I mean, he
Was he talking to a
mentioned.
Canadian while he was saying that?
I'm not
I have
sure.
no
No, our
idea.
The only
our
one
Canadian is Caleb, right?
is Caleb. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's not in the same tribe, so that's interesting. But yeah, you're
So
right. You're right. A lot of the lows that we have, that even me, a lot of the lows that I have can be a high, except
right,
for one.
because of how they're presented. Speaking of like presentation,
Mm,
the intro sequence,
mm.
Finally, it's
it
back.
was like, wow.
Oh, did you
Yeah.
notice in the intro sequence what the first two, some of the first few sequences, some of the first few shots that we saw in that intro sequence? It was the ladder from the boat,
Okay.
and it was the A-frame in the immunity challenge.
Well,
Both times when Brandon failed, the only thing that would have like
Whew.
iced the cake there, it would have been the icing on the cake there would have been if they showed the two puzzles. That would have been telling us that would have been like telegraphing it, like, okay, this is Brandon's last episode. These are his greatest hits. But anyway, yeah.
The intro sequence though, like I was listening to the Jeff Probst podcast. Well, it's
On fire, right? It's on fire.
Yeah.
On fire.
But then he's only on it for half the time now.
Oh,
Because
so the other
Evans.
the other host is back on it.
yeah, what's his gosh, why do I keep forgetting his name?
Is it
Rick
Devins or
Devins,
someone else?
yeah,
Mm.
Devins. Like Rick Devins is there for like most of it, and Jeff is only really there for like half of it,
Oh,
which is interesting.
Weird.
I guess Rick Devins is Jeff Probst's retirement plan.
maybe.
I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind Rick Devins hosted Survivor. But like he mentioned that in the intro sequences, there is a shot that is like a quote unquote hint for what's coming in the episode or something that
Oh.
plays a part in the episode.
Oh wow!
And
Really?
it's the shot right after all of the
That's
survivors are introduced, right? And then you have like the shot of Jeff Probst, and then for like a couple of frames, or for like a second or something, in episode 2 it was a shot of the Beware advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So like they were saying that the Beware
Oh.
advantage is going to come into play in this episode, and then like the Survivor 45 title comes on. So like it's towards the end, and there's like one frame there, and it's always going to be in the same place of a hint or something thematic for the episode coming up. So like just you can look out for that next time.
Yeah. I'm guessing that this is for their streaming service audiences, so that those guys won't skip intro.
CBS.
yes, that makes sense. But then, given the Survivor, the Survivor like fandom has been begging for an intro sequence. I doubt
They will not
people are
skip.
going to be skipping
They will.
intros. It's
Yeah,
like
not for the foreseeable this season at least.
yeah. But just something interesting, and I guess it's I guess we can call that a high, like a meta high, because like I'm starting to distinguish between like in-game highs and lows and like meta highs and lows. So like the in-game highs and lows are the gameplay, that sort of thing, and the meta highs and lows are editing,
the production,
like the production and presentation of the show. So this is a meta high.
Yeah, speaking of meta high, I have to I think that we are going to keep on saying this. The 90-minute runtime, well, technically it's just a full hour runtime. I'm definitely loving it because we get a lot more camp life scenes. Like my boy Brando, trying to wear that buff like a tube top.
Oh, that was fun
I
to
was
see.
I was
That
I was looking at my buff, and I was like thinking, would that fit
Will
me?
it fit
I was
me?
gonna come out like with it as a tube top, but no, I don't think it's gonna fit me.
Yeah.
So these survivors coming up with new ways to use the buff.
Creative uses of buffs.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was watching a podcast with Lindsay from 43, 40.
The one with Jonathan?
Yeah. And she mentioned that in challenges, some of the girls prefer to wear the buff as a tube top. It's something that I haven't noticed. Something that I didn't notice because it's not something that preoccupies me, right? Like the finer points of women's clothing. But I suppose now I'm going to start looking out for that to see if the ladies are wearing the buff as a tube top during challenges and whatnot.
Because they're all required to wear the buff at all times, right? And I suppose because the challenges are like physical, and then wearing it as a headdress, it might come off, or if it's under your neck, it might get entangled somewhere. And since they have that, they're able to do that. It kind of makes practical sense.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna see if the boys start doing that as well.
Wearing it as a tube top?
Yeah.
Sure.
We're gonna see. Let's see. I mean, if Brando is able to pull it off, maybe Drew will see it and like he's like, "Oh, I'm around the same build as he is." It makes more sense to wear it that way.
Yeah, but then he's just so darn tall that it's not gonna be like a tube top. It's gonna be a sports bra.
Yeah.
I found all of the shots involving him so funny. Like all of the shots involving Drew so funny because like the top of his head was just cropped out. Or like they had to use really deep depth of field when he was standing behind Brandon at the
journey.
island journey thing, right? Like you could tell that Drew was standing behind Brandon, and they had to like have a much deeper depth of field so that like they could fit them both in frame. Oh.
He's just that much taller. And then Reba has this like ceremony when he returns from Journey Island, where they like ruffle his hair. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I mean, even he doesn't know why, but yeah, I guess it's a thing now.
Yeah, they're the Kumbaya tribe.
Yeah,
I
they're
can't
the
wait for them
Kumbaya
to
tribe.
I can't wait for them to fall apart.
Same here, same here. They're the loyalty tribe. They're the ones who will tell everyone everything.
Yeah.
And you're kind of waiting for someone to. It seems like it's gonna be Drew, the one who thinks that he can like play marionettes with everyone else. But I don't know. He's also a very loyal player.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because listening to some of the other podcasters, their impression of Drew is that he is confident, not cocky.
Mm-hmm.
My impression is that that's an American sort of perception of it, because when I was watching this with my wife, she was like, "This guy's really cocky."
Mm. Yeah. Yeah,
Which, you
exactly.
know,
That's also my read on Drew.
so
He's bordering that, where like he thinks that he's leading the tribe when actually Julie was playing him. Like,
yeah, yeah. I'm again. I feel myself like being drawn towards the older members of these various tribes, and I can't wait to see like Bruce and Julie have like an old people alliance or something. Because they're setting it up, right? They're all
yeah.
saying like, Bruce is a dad, and Julie's like, "Oh, I'm
Mm.
the mom." Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And so come the merged tribe, they're like, "Mom and dad,"
Mm-hmm.
and then like
Let's pick
Drew,
off the kids.
yeah, let's pick off the kids, and then like Drew, the bratty son, just walks out of the dinner table, because he has safety without power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would be interesting to see. Bruce and Julie alliance, if they
If
make it to the merge, because we do what we've been saying, that Bruce does sort of have a target on his back, and it'll all be up to Katura to be able to make that even more obvious. Well, yeah, going to one of my highs, I like the fact that well, we've been dissing on them sort of the past couple of episodes. Uh, but yeah, I like the fact that in spite, whereas we have Reba, the Kumbaya tribe, we also have their counterparts, the one of the more dysfunctional tribes you've seen so far, in Lulu. But it's for this episode, a lot of good things happened. We're seeing how Caleb is starting to act like a leader, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
How he's really good at reading. He was really good at reading Emily and what
yeah,
Emily is all about, right? And
yeah,
then he took the opportunity to coach Emily, right?
mm,
And even when he saw that Emily was starting to get accepted once again by the rest of the tribe, he celebrated the
Yeah.
fact that she's getting accepted, right? And I also appreciate the fact that Emily did go on that path towards redeeming her social game,
the
right?
Emily apology tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Emily
Emily Paul.
apology tour. And well, she has Caleb to thank for that. I mean, Caleb really told her what it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good thing that she was open to the criticism, and
Mhm.
adjusted her game accordingly, right?
Speaking of Caleb, man, that guy is a
Hmm.
genius.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Just
right?
saying, like he's the survivor savant of this season, I guess, of this tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or at least that's how he's emerging. Like, we all thought Brandon would be the survivor savant, because it's been his
Like,
dream since
yeah.
he was like 8 years old or
8 years
something,
old.
or
Yeah.
2008. I don't know, whatever it is. Like, but it's Caleb that's the survivor savant, because now he's. You see, this is why Emily is gonna win, right? Emily
Mhm.
is gonna win because Caleb is gonna take her all the way to the end as the goat.
Uh-huh.
And he thinks he's taking a goat.
But then she just beats him at the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right?
Mm,
That's my
that's possible.
yeah. I mean, this is of course based on nothing other than the fact that Emily spoke to Jeff at the mat at the
Mm,
beginning of the season, right? Because like
Mm.
you know how there's that thing where ever since season 35 or something, like the winner of the season has come from that initial like mat chat at the beginning of the first
mhm,
episode,
mhm.
right?
And those
So
were Emily, Brandon, and Bruce, right?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So we don't have Brandon anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of our narrators, Drew, is saying that in his opinion, Brandon is not playing a very good game.
Mhm.
So that leaves us with Emily.
Yeah.
And if I'm going by that premise that the winner is going to come from one of those three, the way that I see it happening is Caleb bringing Emily to the end as a goat. But turns out Emily was not the goat. She was playing him the whole time. Like,
There you
Oh.
go.
So it's like the ass man a few seasons back.
yeah, I
Well,
guess
no,
he
but
did.
then
No, no,
again,
he got eliminated.
Cody, yeah, Cody wasn't thinking that Jesse was his goat, though.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Jesse thought that Cody was his goat.
And
Yeah.
then when he realized he wasn't, he had to take him out.
Yeah, so that's my
Mm.
Emily
Theory.
wins theory
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
because Caleb is kind of a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Like being able to bring in a secret alliance in a way, right? It's essentially a
Yeah,
secret alliance.
exactly.
It is, it is.
I don't know if anyone else. Well, they haven't presented it
Mm.
like that, like as if everyone else knows that Caleb was the one who brought Emily back into the fold.
Yeah, because from Brandon's exit interview, it was like from his eyes through his interview with Rob, he said, it's weird how 24 hours later, Emily had a PR team with her and she's not like the one they saw from the mat, like, you know,
Mm.
talking smack about Bruce, being a bit nasty on everyone, felt like she was being gaslighted on like the tribal council after. So even the other guys noticed that. But he didn't go on and say, was it because of the Caleb thing or was it way before that? If they noticed something that changed before the talk with Caleb, or did it happen after?
Mhm.
So we wouldn't know. We may know in the next few episodes if it's really from that talk, but how the editors say it, it could be. Because from the same exit interview with Rob, they were gonna vote out Emily. He did corroborate like certain rumors that had Hannah not quit, it would have been really just Emily. That's it. Emily would have been
Yeah.
gone. Emily would,
That was clear.
Yeah, that
very
was clear. They really wanted Emily out, especially with what she pulled. And again, kudos back to Caleb because he was one of the two people that she targeted
Yeah.
within the tribe.
Yeah.
She was up against Caleb and Sabaya, right?
Yeah.
And that only, if they didn't talk about it before then, that only solidified whatever alliance that they now have, right?
Hmm.
That's what started it, and they and Sean also was brought into that alliance, so they now have a three person alliance, and the fact that Sabaya shared the fact that she has a beware advantage with the two of them, that makes it even more solid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of the
in this
beware advantage, do you guys think it was a good move for Brandon to pass it off to
Of course
Sabaya,
not.
right?
Of course not. That's gonna be in my lows. Of course not. That dude just like, I don't know. He's supposed to be a super fan, but yeah.
Yeah. It's like he tried to do a meta game. Had he won the island challenge, that would have worked. He still could have kept the vote. He could have had
Yeah.
the advantage that whatever
Yeah. The something without power.
the security without security with
Security
number
without
something
power.
safety without power.
Safety without power.
power.
Yeah.
So technically, had the right situation came, that move would have like worked out. He
Yeah.
didn't get a no votes until he got the advantage of the beware advantage. He would have had that, but he didn't. So in hindsight, I have a feeling I'd like to disagree. It's still a 50-50
What do you mean?
because
50? Oh,
he still got a vote that night. Oh wait, no, he didn't.
As far as
He fumbled.
he
I'm
didn't
concerned,
have a vote that
He
night.
shouldn't have just not played. Actually, he
as
should
far
have
as
done
I'm
it, Bruce.
concerned,
Hmm.
his mistake was playing the
Yeah,
game.
there you go. Mistake was playing. He already
Wait,
had a good
wait,
step
sorry,
one.
sorry, Joe. I'm laughing because are you saying that his mistake was playing Survivor?
No, the island game.
The island game.
The island game. The island game.
But,
The
but I
island
want to
game.
go
because
back through
you know
that.
why? You know why? Because he thought he positioned himself as the puzzle guy. He
Yeah.
wanted to position himself as the puzzle guy, and he said it. He said it himself. I've always wanted to pull this this
A
thing.
puzzle, yeah.
Right? No, not the
Yeah.
puzzle. The rod.
Oh
right?
yeah, and then he couldn't.
He always said that. I've always wanted to pull this. But yeah, he calls himself. It's a puzzle. Yeah, I'm the puzzle guy. And then later on in Tribal, he calls himself the social guy. And then after that, when that wasn't working, he calls himself the physical guy. I don't know.
Then it
But
wasn't.
that's in
But
my
at
notes.
the end of the day, he's the water boy.
He's the
He's
water
the water
boy.
boy, and that's a good H2O. I want to get
Mhm.
back to that later, but I want to go back
Go
to
ahead.
what I mentioned last episode. So, what did I tell you guys about super fans being edited somewhat in a slightly negative light, in a slightly in bad taste? And how does it go now with Brandon, as I feared?
Well,
I remember.
then again, he's not the
Mm,
only super fan though.
Yeah, but
All
he's
of them
still
are
one of
super
the
fans.
biggest super fans.
And I am going to say that they did quite a lot with what he was giving.
Mm.
Mhm.
Like, I think they painted him in the best light that they could.
With
Yeah.
all the with all the fumbles,
Except maybe the falling over thing. Like
Yeah.
that was a low blow. That was like
They could have edited that out, right? But they had to keep it in.
Old
Yeah, they
habits
could-
die hard, guys. Old habits die hard in Survivor, even editing. All
Yeah.
right, Jeff. You tried. You tried.
I don't know. I don't know, because like on the one hand they gave him about as good an edit as they can give, given what he was
Yeah.
giving them to edit, it would seem.
Mm.
Right? Like his is still an inspirational story of
It is.
somebody that probably wasn't fit to be in the game,
Mm-hmm.
but still having the
tried his
balls to go
best.
out there to try it out and living the dream. Like the his exit speech at tribal council was amazing.
Yeah.
Very so. Even
Right?
his exit interviews, he still says he loves the game. And
Yeah.
some interviewers fear that, things like these would actually turn people off of Survivor after seeing them eliminated or even given that edit. But Brandon's not so much. He's actually still loves the game.
Yeah, I mean, like he got a very good edit given what they had to work with, I think. And they have the advantage of Hannah and Brandon being sort of
okay.
voted out or leaving the game back to back.
Mhm.
That way we can see
the-
the differences,
Mm.
Right, actually, that's a good
right?
thing. Yeah.
Like, given those two, like Brandon is still
That's
quote unquote better,
Better.
Mm.
Yeah.
right?
Because he wanted to be there.
And as much failure as he sort of went through, my boy tried.
Yep.
Except for when they showed him like slipping. That was like the decapitation of a puppy. Like but besides that, I think he got a pretty good edit, all things
Okay.
considered. What I will say though, going back to the question about whether or not he should have kept or given the beware advantage to Sabaya. A lot of the sort of rhetoric, no, a lot of the sort of theory
Discussion?
crafting or discussion prior to Survivor 45, or when they started giving out the beware advantages, was if you know you're gonna lose your vote, why are you gonna get a beware
Exactly.
advantage? Right? Like
Mm.
it was a pretty big brain move to give it to somebody else.
Yep.
assuming that they're your ally, right? And that sort of solidifies the bond. You don't have the you don't have the downside of not having a vote, and you do have the upside of the knowledge that somebody else doesn't have a vote and that somebody else is going to have an idol.
Mm.
So
But
it's
I think that
paper.
presupposes that supposes that you on your own can actually contribute something to the tribe, aside
Yeah,
from
and
being
this
the
is
water boy.
and this is where I think Brandon made the mistake.
Mm.
When it comes to advantages and idols and stuff, it's all about the context you find yourself in, right?
Mhm.
It's situational. It's situational. You know, the way people talk about it online on podcasts and Reddit is it's a sort of blanket thing, like, yeah, you should always take it, or no, you should never take it,
Mhm.
when really it's a situational thing,
Yeah.
right? And Brandon, in that situation, maybe he should have taken it,
Mhm.
right? Like, maybe he should have taken it, but his big mistake really was playing on the island.
Yep.
Like that was hubris.
He was he was overtaken by his probably the fact that it was something that he's always wanted to do.
His bucket
Yeah.
list thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
And
doing the beware advantage wasn't on his bucket list. Oh my god.
Maybe
I
it
think
was on his maybe
and he already checked it out. What
Because he found
did
it.
was,
Mm.
he found it. He just didn't want to lose his vote, but ironically, he still lost his vote because he
That's
played
the
a
thing.
freaking thing.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the thing.
he
He shouldn't have played it if he was
Yes.
worried about his vote.
exactly.
That was his mistake.
That's what Bruce did. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not he already knows. He's again, we go back to self-awareness and
Mhm.
this new era of Survivor really putting a premium on castaways who are very self-aware. Bruce himself was aware, okay, I'm not good at puzzles. I'm not gonna risk it.
Mhm.
My vote is more important to me than whatever advantage I can get. Right?
I
And
bet that Brandon had like cutouts or 3D prints or whatever of all of the Survivor puzzles. And then when Jeff was like, completely new puzzle. Oh no. Like it all goes out the
Wink.
window.
Wink.
speaking
There was-
of
Wink.
speaking
There
of
was
the
like
new
an
puzzle.
interview. There was an interview with Carson
Mm.
from 44 or a podcast or whatever that like I had playing in the background. And something that he mentioned, which is something that we also mentioned on this podcast, was memorizing past Survivor puzzles is a completely different skill set to being able to work on a new puzzle,
Mhm.
right? Like those are two different skill sets. And I'm pretty sure that Brandon had the skill set that Carson had. That
Mhm.
is to say, I'm sure he knew every puzzle by heart, but he didn't practice that part of, he didn't practice the muscle of figuring out how to do a new puzzle.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. Speaking of new puzzle, finally, thank God, we finally got a new puzzle. And I think I saw a tweet right after the episode. It was from Kelly, the one in that's Kelly, right? That's her name, the one on the Blue Tribe, and Bello. I think she's a nurse or something, med tech or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Oh,
Ke-
yeah,
Kelly,
yeah. The older one.
Yeah.
The older lady. Yeah.
She's not an older lady, man.
He is?
No, she isn't. The hell? She's the one who can bro out with the guys
Ah, damn.
from
Right,
Bello.
sorry.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
are you
yeah.
thinking.
talking about, dude?
Oh, shit. I thought Kendra.
No.
Slightly older lady.
That she's the astrologer. Is it
I
Kelly?
am an Aquarius.
Yeah, Kelly,
I
Kelly.
am an-
Yeah, Kelly. She tweeted right after. I don't know if it was right after the episode or right after the
yeah.
challenge. I think the tweet was something like, "Damn you, Carson," because of the fact that Carson memorized all of the previous puzzles. It forced Survivor to come up
Justice.
with a new challenge. But I mean, yeah, I love the fact that they have a new challenge.
Yes.
Thank God for that. But still, it should have been a pelican,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? Just as last season, it should have been a dragon. This season, it
Yeah.
should have been a pelican. If you're gonna use that, or a bird, or anything, right? You're using the theme of birds. That should have been what it is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They have like a dragon puzzle, right?
do
Oh, no,
they?
it's a bat. Sorry, it's a bat.
It was a bat. Yeah.
Yeah, look like that.
It's a
Same
bat
thing.
puzzle that you put on. And like the puzzle is like upside down, right?
Yeah, yeah. But anyway,
Yeah. At least they had that, but then after that, nothing. No, nothing that. I don't know if that even tied to the theme. Anyway.
here's another high.
Mm.
Apparently, everybody on the cast had a confessional in this episode.
Oh, nice.
Actually, that's true.
Nice. Going back to the 90-minute run, giving us a lot more of these things, allowing
Yeah.
for us to get to know all of these castaways even better.
Another high. They changed the sit out rule.
Exactly. That was that. I love that. I love that.
because
Because of last season, right?
yeah.
The chief laziness officer.
You just have have your entire run of Survivor without like doing a single challenge.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
So I guess we can say that season 44 is a season of game changers.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it won't have a Sandra bench.
No, I'm
Yeah.
talking about season 44, Marts. Season 44 was season of game changers
Game
because
cha-
you
like-
had because of what happened in
Oh yeah, the
44,
3D printers.
45, they changed a lot of things up.
Yeah, and actual game changers, not like not
Not
like whatever they called game changers for that season.
Yeah.
Called game changers. like,
Hey, I
I
dare
mean,
say Woog's still a game
I'm a fan of
changer.
Michelle, but I do not know why she was a game changer.
yeah. So yeah.
Wait, she was.
She won that season, right?
Wait,
Did you?
really?
Wasn't she the
Game
one who won
Changers?
the game? Wasn't she the one who won Game Changers?
Sarah Lucina.
Yeah, it's
Sarah.
Sarah. It's Sarah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why Sandra was still there. Tony with the Sandra bench.
Yeah. The girl from Cagayan.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyway,
Another high. Emily using the shot in the dark for something other than a 1 in 6 shot at immunity.
yeah.
Mm.
And
Like-
Go ahead, man.
Like that move is gonna be called the Emily.
Emily.
You know, it's like, yeah, we're gonna do the thing that Emily did. You know, it's like, what's his name? Drew wanted to have his mark made or his footprint, whatever, in Survivor. Like he wanted his stay in Survivor to have some sort of, what was the word that he used? Whatever the word he used was. That's what Emily just did. You know, it's like she did something cool with the game mechanic. So she's left a mark on the game more than most others.
Yeah.
You know, in the same way that we're forever going to remember Cowboy and Plan Voodoo as the vote split. The vote split. Like how to flush out an idol. Right? That was Cowboy. Apparently, like he had a dream or whatever. Like, here's how we're gonna flush out the idol. Right? How are we gonna get rid of the idol? We're gonna split the votes. Plan Voodoo. Like, you know, and like in theory it was set, but then you know the idol was with what's the name of that other guy? The other
I wouldn't
Asian
know.
guy.
I'm not the.
Wait,
I'm the one who
Cowboy. Wait, what
forgets
season
all
is
of these-
this? I forgot about
all of the
that.
previous seasons.
Is this the one where they swapped it in races?
Yeah.
Wait, is this where Penner and Yule are?
Yule had the idol.
Right? Yule, right?
Yeah, Yule had the
Cowboy,
idol
yeah.
from
their island.
Exile, right? He
Exile,
had the idol from Exile. Cowboy didn't know that. and Cowboy was sure that somebody else had the idol, and he was like, in a dream, it came to him. We put votes on this person, we put votes on this person, and if this person plays the idol, then this person goes home. Plan voodoo. At least I think that was Cowboy, right?
Uh-huh.
And that was like, we're going to remember Emily as the person that came up with bartering using your shot in the dark, in the same way that we remember Cowboy as being the dude who came up with the vote split, even
Vote
though it
split.
wasn't put into action until subsequent seasons, sort of like an Ada Lovelace kind of situation.
So it's Emily was able to use the shot in the dark, sort of like a fire token. It's become currency. It became currency.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. They're like, I'm sure that if we watch back previous seasons in the new era, we will be able to pinpoint instances where the shot in the dark could have been used in that way, and the outcome would have been different.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Like,
and I'm sure that sooner or later, more castaways will start thinking of it that way. Like, okay, so, but what does happen though? Let's say, for example, Sabaya now has Emily's shot in the dark as well as hers. Let's just say if she breaks her promise, doesn't give it back to Emily. Does that mean that she now has two that she can play?
yeah.
Ooh. So it is
Apparently.
currency, right? So
Yeah, well,
it is currency.
apparently, yeah. Jeff said that.
Oh, nice.
Jeff has confirmed that the shot in the dark can be played by Sabaya if she chooses not to give it back to Emily.
Oh man.
Wow. Wow. That yeah, you're right then. I mean, this is now gonna turn out sooner or later into a very iconic move by Emily.
Ooh.
One might even say it's a game changer.
It's a game changer. She's also a game changer. Yeah.
So if we cast Survivor New Era Game Changers, we already have 3 people.
Yeah. You've got Carson, you've got, I forget her name, Chief Laziness Officer, and right now Emily.
Emily.
Yeah, that was genius, and I'm gonna say that is like one of the highest highs of this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. That was pretty good.
At least in terms of highs within the game.
And how it's gonna impact the game moving forward.
Yeah. They might actually just finally get rid of the shot in the dark.
Just when it was used differently. Right? They get rid of it. One thing that they did introduce in this season that I liked was the fact that the idol wasn't just something that you got, right? It was encased in wax.
Yes.
I love that fact. I love that. But the thing is, while I was also rewatching it, nothing was said about Sabaya needing to burn the wax away via their own campfire.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
she could have
on the podcast.
She
we're talking about that too.
Yeah, the podcast we're talking about. I was watching it with my wife, and she was like, "There's fire! There's fire!
Yeah.
Why doesn't she take the wax and put it there?"
Yeah, or right,
know?
she's got her torch, doesn't snuff it after when they go home, or like,
Melt
are
it
they
out,
required to?
right?
I guess they're required to, right?
Yeah, they're required to, because they're not allowed to have fire because they
Fire,
don't have a flint.
So while it's lit, even behind them, she puts her candle in there, waits for the wax to burn out, however long, or in the middle of, like, because it's supposedly takes a couple of hours to finish, right? We only see like a few minutes of it, but it supposedly takes a couple of hours. Maybe if she senses that, oh, we're about to vote, Jeff, wait for a second. She puts her wax inside the torch, waits for the wax to melt out. Right at the end of tribal, she will have her idol. Right?
Yeah. Well, at that point, is she trying to keep it from Emily though?
Maybe
because that's a public showing of the idol. Everybody knows except Emily. So my thought is she might not want to
Emily
tip her hand to Emily, which is the only reason that I can think of for her not to use that to use the fire at tribal, apart from maybe she asked somebody like, "Hey,
Yeah.
can I use this?" Like, you
And
know,
then she was told that she couldn't.
No, yeah,
Or maybe she
Yeah.
waits for Emily to go up and vote.
yeah.
Hmm.
Are they allowed to stand while other people are like in the voting precinct or the voting area? Right?
So many questions.
So many questions. I hope that we get some answers to them.
I'm
Yeah.
feeling like I'm feeling like that meme of Julia Roberts with all of the like.
Well, that's not Julia Roberts though. Well, it looks like Julia
It's-
Roberts, but
Yeah, it
I
does. It
understand what you
does.
mean.
Was it the
Uh,
other Roberts?
Yeah,
With
it's
a
not Julia
cake.
Roberts, but it looks like her. And so in my
Yeah.
mind, it's Julia Roberts.
Yeah,
Which,
and one other thing that I like though is that the beware advantages aren't all the same.
Yes,
Right.
actually.
I got I got a quick look at the tribe flag of
The
Lulu.
red one.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
Lulu, and
Lulu.
it didn't have the markings
Yep.
that Reba had.
yeah.
Right? It was just like it was just like a scrap of paper.
Yeah.
That
I
Yeah.
gotta
kind of effect.
say, a quick hi. Holy shit, the confessional of J. Maya about that flag.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was trying to bring us there because like
J. Maya!
that was really like I didn't
Lyrical genius / mathematician extraordinaire.
mathematician, frequent crossword puzzle player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that,
song-
and that was the song that you shared to us, man. Right?
Yeah, it's a
Wasn't it
pretty
all
good
about
song.
the crossword?
Yeah, I quite like that song. But like she's a lot smarter than than one might
Yeah.
sort of assume, and she was pretty much doing what was the most logical thing, given that she didn't have the Austin and what Austin like knew, but it's a cipher. Like
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of what I don't know if you guys watch New Rock Stars
sorry.
from on YouTube.
Yeah,
There's this guy
yeah.
Eric Voss on New Rock Stars. Well, a lot of them. These guys who like break down the different TV shows, and then
Yeah.
the first name that comes to mind whenever he see someone trying to decipher something is Voss, because he always goes, especially with the more recent Ahsoka show. He went and like deciphered what all of those letters meant. So
When I
it's
saw
exactly like
that, when I saw that video on the Ahsoka end credits, I was
Mm.
like, Voss, nerd.
that. Yeah, because it was supposedly a language that wasn't canon yet
Yeah.
in Star Wars fandom geekdom, and then he
Yeah.
was able to decipher it using cipher that he's been using for other things.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's pretty standard stuff, but like nerd.
Nerd.
Yeah, but so J Maya, J Maya, my initial assumptions of her are slowly getting washed away.
Yeah. J Maya. Nerd.
Maya nerd. But I guess you need to be a nerd to know how the beats flow, right? For your songs.
Not really.
I will let the musician
So,
comment
yeah.
on that.
No.
Yeah. And one last hi from me. I love Sassy Jeff. We got a Sassy Jeff instance here right after the immunity challenge. He was like, "Oh, very tight for two of you." Challenge.
Was it put it in the freezer?
And the thing was, he was right in front of Lulu when he said that. "Oh, very tight for two of you," pointing to the two tribes on either side. Challenge. And that was just okay. Sassy Jeff. That was Lululemons. Lululemons. Oh my god.
Oh, for
So
all
yeah,
the
that was high for
Cebuanos
me.
out there. Lulu,
Lulu. Yeah. So any other highs for you guys?
The whole episode, man.
The whole episode was a high. It was a really
This
good
was-
episode. Definitely so.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna put that out there. Again, like one of the best of the new era.
Nice.
Everything everything that we were kind of hoping for,
Yeah. It was except for what?
I was just gonna transition us into the
Oh,
lows, but go
except for
ahead.
some of the, yeah. Go ahead. Let's go ahead to the lows. Except for what?
Except for one thing,
Mhm.
we no longer have a villain.
Oh,
Like I really love what they did with Emily's journey, right?
Mhm.
Like, they um she she tried to fit 26 days of Survivor into the first 3 days. Well, what the editors did was fit 13 episodes of Survivor into 2,
mm.
because we're supposed to see like a character arc progress over the
Mhm.
course of an entire season, or at the very least through half of a season, and then like Emily the White emerges from like the fires, and like is a changed player, but like now it's just right at the beginning, and I feel like there's nowhere for her character to go anymore.
Mhm.
They did an Uno reverse for the like villain that we were all hoping for.
Mm.
Well,
To
she did it herself,
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
well,
But
actually,
with the help
with the help of
from
Caleb.
Caleb, of course. Now
yeah.
here's a plot twist. What if Caleb becomes the villain? Right? He was
Whoa!
Oh,
actually just
it's a
reeling in
double
Emily.
turn.
No, no, yeah, he's the one who turns heel.
Yeah,
He doesn't
he's
turn
the
Emily
Bret
back,
Hart
right?
That would be.
So
I
Emily's
would
Steve
love that.
Austin.
again,
Of
going back to the promos, it seemed that Caleb had been a lot of the things that he was saying during the promos was like, I'm ready, I'm okay with being a villain. I'm okay with cutting throats. And then we've
Yeah.
been hearing that as how Emily has been described specifically by Sabaya, who is one of Caleb's now
Closest
closer
ally.
allies, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if
Oh.
Caleb turns out to be the villain, it turns out he was just reeling Emily in so that he had one more person in his pocket, right? And he already has Sabaya there, and Sean is around. Right? He turns out to be the villain. That would be really cool.
Oh
I
man,
I would
it
I
would
would
have been.
absolutely
Oh
love
god,
that.
that's gonna be one of the coldest turns, like Jesse did to Cody.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh shit.
I'm gonna be
That
spoiling
would
a
be
23-year-old film, but if you
okay.
haven't seen M Night's Unbreakable,
Mhm.
So
if you
he's
haven't
Mr.
seen,
Glass.
yeah, he's Mr. Glass.
Oh,
Because that
okay.
I remember watching the end of that movie where like he shakes the hand of Bruce Willis's character,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden it's like, oh, twist! He's actually the villain that killed everybody on that train, and I was like, oh my god, mind blown, and the subsequent movies weren't exactly great, but like Unbreakable was amazing.
Unbreakable was very underrated. Very underrated
I think that's
movie.
his best movie.
Mm.
Like more than
More
everybody talks
than
about The
Sixth
Sixth Sense,
Sense. Yeah.
right? Like Unbreakable was the movie that spoke to me the most. Comic book fan,
Yeah.
all of that
Comic
sort
book.
of thing. Uh, but yeah, I can totally see that with
With Caleb.
with Caleb.
Oh
Like,
man.
oh, it turns out he's Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
Like, you
Oh
know,
snap.
we all thought he was the mild-mannered good guy, but
Mhm.
as it turns out, he was the one pulling all of the strings behind the scenes, and he's the villain, and that's why Emily wins.
Because it turns out that everything that Caleb does burned too many bridges, and
Oh god.
Emily emerges as what you said, Emily the White,
Yeah.
Emily the
coming
White.
out of the ashes and taking down the real BBEG. Right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
guess my winner pick might fall on the sword against Caleb. When he gets voted out, Caleb will say, "It was me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin."
But
Well,
who
they'll have
was
to reach the merge. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
but who was your initial winner pick? What?
Austin.
Austin?
He's got
Austin.
Austin. I've got Brando. You got
Alright.
Might
Jake,
fall on the
Jake.
who suspiciously in the up next week on Survivor
Whew.
had a
falls
tumble.
down.
We'll talk about that in the predictions.
Yeah,
Going
we will,
to my
we
low,
will.
my first low. I said that I was gonna mention this. Well, two of them already. I said that I was gonna mention two things. But first thing, I really think, well, yes, I'm not sure if I buy the fact that Bruce supposedly has a threat level. I mean, Emily harped on it at the mooring, and then at the beach, it's Katura's turn
Yeah.
to try and say that, oh, you know what, he's doing all this and all that. He's just trying to not come out as too aggressive, as being like the bossy dad that he is, right?
Hmm.
And I don't know if that warrants him being a threat. I'm not sure. I don't see it. Yeah, and the fact that Katura calls Bruce her nemesis, I mean, that's a bit of a reach. What has he done? What have the two of you done to each other to warrant yourselves being nemesis? Right? I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
That's actually kind of sad from the point of view of Couture, right? It's like uh, your arch nemesis is one that doesn't
Doesn't
view
know.
you as a yeah, that doesn't know that you're the arch nemesis. Like that's a trope on TV in
Survival.
stories, right?
Hmm.
I can't think of something off the top of my head that uses
It's like
that
the Moby
sort of
Dick
trope.
of Couture.
No.
No, not
It's
really.
like well, in recent film, well, not that recent anymore. Thanos and Wanda. Wanda comes up to him and she says, "You
I
took
don't even know
everything
who
away
you
from
are.
me." And then Thanos is like,
I
"I
don't
don't
even
even know you."
know who you are, woman.
Yeah, yeah, or
What you talking about, Willis? What you...
like for Bison it was Tuesday, right? Like
Yeah, for Bison. So it's Tuesday.
for
Yeah,
for the
it's
people
yeah,
versus
it's
Street
kind of
Fighter.
sad. Yeah, it's kind of sad that Katura thinks that way. I don't know. There may be some things we're not seeing. Of course, there's a lot of things that we're not seeing, even despite the fact that it's already got a 90-minute runtime. There are still a lot of things on the cutting room floor, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't see very much of Bruce's strategy now that I think about it.
Mm.
Apart
Yeah.
from
Get work
his
done.
social strategy.
Get work
Mhm.
done.
We don't see much of his social strategy apart from his desire to be like the weird guy,
Mhm.
which really isn't very much of a social strategy, you know? Like it's one aspect of it, but like to what end?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Lowering your threat level. Yeah, but then who's he allying himself with and all of
Mhm.
that sort of thing. It's like red is the Kumbaya tribe, and blue is the tribe that Bruce thinks is the Kumbaya tribe.
But it's
If that
actually
makes
like
sense.
two
Yeah.
factions with a duo in the middle. The blue one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
Because you got
Like
yeah,
Kelly and
Civil
Brando.
War Blue.
My boy Brando in the middle.
yeah. That's
Brando's working in it.
he's in such a good spot
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that tribe. Like on you have Bruce and Jake, and you have
Katura and Kendra.
Katura and Kendra, right?
Kendra,
So
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, and
wow,
the two of them, Kelly and Brando, are in both groups.
yeah. So I guess their hope is that Lulu keeps losing. That
Mhm.
way they can maintain that.
But at one point,
You know,
doesn't Survivor like force two tribes to vote,
yeah, yeah.
right? So that's
It's,
bound to happen unless like the but Lulu probably is gonna get matsinged all the way.
yeah. Well, I hope not. I hope
Yeah.
not
Well, then again,
because
yeah. Last season we had like Jam, Carolyn, and the guy who transferred to their tribe
yeah, and
left.
Carson.
No, Carson
Oh
was on
no,
the
Carson.
other.
Yeah.
Carson had transferred out.
What's his name? Yeah, that
Yeah,
guy.
that dude,
The surgeon.
the surgeon who downplayed his being a surgeon very poorly.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's I can't wait for the shoe to drop actually.
Yeah.
For the other tribes, and like I'm hoping that Lulu goes on like a bit of an immunity run or whatever. Otherwise, Brandon's sacrifice would be for nothing.
Sacrifice?
Yeah. Right, because the rationale for kicking out Brandon was we're not
because
sure.
they needed to be
Strength versus
stronger.
loyalty episode.
Yeah, it's like we're not sure if we're going to win with Emily, but we're sure we're going to lose if we keep Brandon. That was what Caleb said, right? That was his like justification. No, that wasn't Caleb. That was Sean.
That's Sean. Yeah.
That was
Yep,
Sean.
it
Such a
was,
principle, like such an educator. um, You're very pragmatic. No, not an educator. Such an administrator.
Yeah.
Right, such an administrator. When I talk to my principal, when I used to talk to my principal about like the makeup of teachers, that's kind of how she would, look at things. Where do we put people? Right. So anyway, so if they still keep losing, then Brandon's sacrifice would be for nothing. And, we're not left with anything redemptive. We're just left with a decapitated puppy on the beach.
That slipped on slippery rock.
Yeah.
And since we're already talking about him, I guess that I have to go into that. He had a lot of promise. He was like he was the super fan of super fans. I mean, you guys said that in our previous episode that he has he's sort of like a very he's got a good reputation in Survivor circles.
Online communities,
before the season started. But
Yeah.
when he actually got to the game,
even after actually, because I think like Mike Bloom, part of Rap, still says, "Hey,
Yeah.
good shot, Brandon." And I think everyone who watched the episode still hold him in high regard because
Really?
he wasn't a quitter. He still
Yeah.
fall off his
Yeah,
ass, fall off his face. But like I think Zhao said it correctly. It's not like that edit that we see before in the past. So he has it right. And hey, it's still a good narrative.
I
But
don't
it's
know.
bad
He's-
gameplay.
He's
It's bad
very
gameplay,
bad
yeah.
gameplay. I mean, chickening out on the beware advantage,
Mhm.
flubbing the piece with for matching for the journey puzzle. Couldn't contribute in the challenge puzzle. I mean, he
Yeah.
said, "I'm just trying random stuff." Right? He talked a good game, but he couldn't
He couldn't.
bring it. He couldn't pull
Yeah.
it off. He was, and then I mentioned this already earlier. He desperately changed what he's supposed to be good at. He said he was the puzzles guy. He
He
failed at
failed at
puzzles.
puzzle.
He said he was the social guy. He was good at making other people feel good. Hannah quit. And then he said he can be a contributor in as a physical guy. I mean, I get the desperation to try and find something to say that will tell people that will cue people to keep you there. I think that's why Jeff just went with that metaphor. You know what? Let me say what you are. You're the water boy.
Water boy.
You're the water boy.
It feels like in the past two episodes, the audience is being told these are the types of people that might not be cut out for Survivor.
Survivor.
True.
So, like Hannah and Brandon, but I will still say that Brandon got a very
Good edit.
compassionate edit,
Yeah.
shall
Mm.
we say? Given
Given what
was
he
given,
did.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
What it
his,
was given.
yeah,
Yeah, but and I think that even Jeff still appreciated his play. I mean, the fact that he was so excited at seeing his torch snuffed, and then Jeff
He
was
still
like,
wants to hug everybody.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then no, even Jeff was like smiling when he was telling Brandon, "Get out of here."
yeah,
It was like
Yeah.
it wasn't there wasn't any ill feeling from Jeff.
Mhm.
The reason I say that he's a low is that I sort of expected a little bit more from him, not necessarily
Everyone
from the
did.
physical standpoint, but because he is one of the super fans of super fans. I would have expected him to be better prepared
Yes.
for the other aspects of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
the social or the at least the mental aspects.
It's sort of
Yeah.
like
Intellectual.
it's sort of like Carson right? He actually worked out.
Yeah.
He cut weight before. Yeah, he worked out before going on Survivor to get buff. It's sort of like you know how in Survivor you have to take the time to learn how to use a flint, how to make fire.
Exactly.
Sort of like how if you go on the Amazing Race, you have to learn how to drive stick shift.
Yeah.
Right? Like there are just some things that you have to do to prepare for Survivor. You have to know how to not eat, right?
You have to do a fast. I mean, you have to be able to do that, right?
Yeah, like, you have to quit your nicotine pouches.
Like nicotine pouches.
There's a certain degree of preparation that has to go into it, particularly in this quote unquote new era where they don't get as much in terms of like camp supplies, right? Like gone are the days where your reward challenge is freaking Home Depot coming in and building you a shelter. You know?
Oh yeah.
Gone, yeah.
Even that porta potty from Charmin. Oh god.
Yeah, maybe that's the one that I was thinking of. I don't know, but like
you can't get drunk inside a Charmin porta potty anymore, guys.
You know, like gone are those days, right? So, like, I see where Joel's coming from. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Where, like, there was a degree of preparation that he failed to prepare for.
And I guess you're saying that these past two episodes are showing us, the audience, what kinds of players might not be cut out for Survivor, and one common thing is people who don't quite prepare enough for the rigors of Survivor. I mean, it was mentioned several times in both episodes, even by Brandon himself, right? He said that I think it was in a confessional where he's like he was like saying something like, yeah, it really is so much tougher than what we see, right? I'm sure that it's really tough out there, but I don't consider myself a super fan. I'm a fan of the show, but I'm not a super fan. I don't know all of the intricacies of the gameplay. But yeah, if you're reputed as sort of a super fan of super fans, you should have been able to better prepare yourself for things like that, right?
Not really.
Why not?
You just said it. Brandon's out for 6 days because he didn't prepare. If you were a real super fan,
but that's the thing. If you were a super fan of super fan, you should have been able to do that.
You should have.
Right?
And I think that's the problem with us fans thinking, oh, you're a super fan, so you should have prepared. Maybe we put them on a higher pedestal. Is that a problem right now in our fandom? Like, not just us three, like maybe in the internet fandom, maybe those guys watching on TV every time they watch Survivor. Because I too think that's a low, because we expected highly of this guy, because he may not be physical. Okay, maybe he sucks at challenges, but maybe at least the social one. Maybe at least he could say, hey, maybe this time we do this one on this puzzle, but he still, underperformed. You think he's the Kwame Brown of this season?
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, Mark.
Yeah.
Though, yeah. That there's like that unreasonable expectation.
Because, like I said,
but
the other fans are a-okay with him being voted out because the edit's not that bad. He still likes the fact that he still had experience. It sucked, but he's not the bitter fan that came out of this. Like previous contestants. Like they say, oh no, they edited me bad. No. Yeah, that's me. I suck. But hell, I loved it. I love my 6 days. I love my tribe. He even says he loves everyone in that yellow tribe. Yeah. Like, as much as they're mean, they actually like each other. Well,
that's something that Jeff has been emphasizing for Survivor in the recent years, right? Like, Survivor is about the experience of Survivor, right? And, there is, I guess something else that they're saying is there is at least one space for somebody on a Survivor season that isn't there to win the game necessarily, right? Like somebody that wants to be there because it's their like lifelong dream to be there,
But lifelong dream to be there for 6 days.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been a fan
lasted
for
12
so long.
hours and hit his head.
But that's
and he
different.
came back.
That's different. That's not out of
Someone
that wasn't
went
his
there
choice.
for 3 days, had a nicotine problem.
Yeah, that's the
So
thing.
he
But
outlasted
that's the thing.
that.
Who is the bigger fan?
And that's not
Who
even the
has more
point.
knowledge? Who has
The
more
point
knowledge of the game?
here wasn't it
No,
like,
no, no.
do we
Answer
have
that
the
question. Who has more knowledge of the
higher
game?
pedestal of
No, but that's
Brandon and the
exactly.
other super
But
fans,
that's
right?
the thing. Because he's a super fan, he knows the intricacies of the game, right?
Yeah.
He
Right,
is
yeah.
expected to perform better than Hannah, right?
And again,
And of course, it's not about.
is that unfair
Bruce
for us
is.
to expect that?
It's not unfair for me.
Okay.
It's not unfair at all. Because he knows the intricacies. He had the tools to be better prepared. He just didn't quite prepare for it.
He didn't have the physical look.
It's not about the physical. It's not about the physical.
Yeah.
He positioned himself as a puzzle guy. He failed at puzzles.
Because the
He was
second time
he mentally froze, right, at those things, right. He got too carried away by the fact that, oh, I'm here in Survivor, and he
Yeah.
didn't perform. That's what when if he had, I don't know, I'm not a super fan, but if he had all of those, if he knows all of the nitty-gritties of Survivor, you should know that you should be keeping your emotions on check, right?
Is that expected if you're a fan of it? Because if I was there, I'd still freak out every
You'd
time.
freak out,
It's
but you know-
expected for everybody.
Yeah,
It's expected for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
You'd freak out, but yeah, I mean, you have this, and then he decided to play that puzzle, right? He decided to play the puzzle, but he freaked out, right? As soon as he got on the mooring boat, he was crying, right? I already made that
Yeah.
observation. As soon as he got on the mooring boat, he was already crying, right? I'm guessing that he's a very emotional guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he let his emotions get the better of him. That's why this is a low.
Yeah.
It is.
You know, I just realized something, and this is kind of interesting. And
because that's
it was what's his name? Jeff, after Brandon had his seizure or whatever in like the first
the first
episode, right? Like when medical went to check him out and he was like on the ground and all of that stuff. Like apparently Jeff went up to him to be like, you know, to be that soothing sort of presence, and as a way to center Brandon, started asking him Survivor trivia questions just so that Brandon could get back to like where he was. And one of the things that was apparently insane was Jeff asked him who the second boot on every season was.
Wow. And he knew
he knew all of them, maybe with the exception of like one or something. He was able to get all of the second boots. And he was the second boot.
So he now is in the same breath of BB, rest in peace, Kale, and that's the only one I can remember.
He can add his name to that list.
Yeah.
So now he can add his name to that list of trivia. Like, wow. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just realized it now when you were talking about like who has more game knowledge. And I was like, Brandon, he knows every second boot. He's the second boot.
But again, like,
sorry, I don't know. That was
that's interesting.
Sorry,
that's interesting.
I'm okay.
That
I'm
totally
go.
blew my mind.
But yeah, like,
and that's my moment for the podcast.
the second boot. Holy shit, that is a good one.
Yeah. Any other lows for you guys?
Yeah, that's it, the low. But yeah, good on you, Brandon. You did your dream.
I still think, you know, like like I said, I'm kind of 50-50 though. Like on the one hand, they did him dirty, but then on the other hand, they didn't. They gave him the edit that, you know, the best edit that they could. But then there were moments where it's like they're Jamieing him, right? Like, you know.
Wait, they're what? They're
Jamieing
from last season.
From last season.
Right? That was like one of my biggest complaints about last season. Like they edited Jamie so bad. Like
Well, it's not as bad as, you know. At least it's not as bad as Jamie's, I guess. That's a good point.
Like Jamie's was just sort of waterboarding a kitten, you know, like
like stop.
like
She's already dead.
This was worse. This was like decapitating a puppy.
Well, fine, like
Well,
fine.
puppies are cute.
Waterboarding a puppy. That's like sustained torture, right? At least if
Yeah.
you
Oh,
decapitate a
okay.
puppy, it's
Yeah,
gone.
it's
Yeah.
It's done.
yeah, it's 6
All
days
right.
gone, man.
All right.
And then they decapitate the puppy. I don't know. Like,
Oh dear God, no.
because Jamie didn't get anything, which is like so sad. Her edit was like, oh.
She got a quote unquote immunity idol. How
Oh.
about you, Joe? Do you have any other lows on your notes?
Uh, no, man, no. Other than the fact that we lose the villain
Hmm.
that I was kind of
Are
looking
we
forward to. You know,
Yeah.
that was the thing that got my wife wanting to watch the second episode was precisely because Emily was the
Emily?
villain,
Mhm.
and she wanted to see what happened. And now that the story arc has been completed, she's thinking twice about whether or not we're gonna make a date night out of the third episode.
But did
But
you notice
Zhao,
though in tribal? Did you notice
are
that
you
in tribal, after Jeff read the second vote, and then he said, second vote, Brandon, that's two, that's enough. They went to Emily, and she had this look. She had a what the hell happened here? Why were only two votes red? Look.
Yeah, because she didn't know that. I don't know,
Yeah.
because she didn't know that that Sabai doesn't have a vote.
Exactly. So who knows? It might bring back another descent into villainy because she is a pessimist, right?
He
She is
is
a
a pessimist.
self-proclaimed pessimist.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And she
she'll
doubts a
start
lot.
thinking, "Oh my gosh, so they're hiding something from me."
Yeah.
But Zhao, are you sure that Emily has finished the story unlike Cody Rhodes? I don't know, like
We'd have to wait for next
yeah,
year's
I have to
WrestleMania
see
for that.
next year's WrestleMania to find out.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm sure there's a story to tell for Emily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's just
We'll just have to wait
we're
and see. And like I said, it might
Check
be
it out.
that it might turn out that Caleb becomes the villain.
yeah. Like I really hate this phrase,
Mhm.
but it feels like it's apt in this moment. You
Okay.
trust the process.
Trust the process. Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah, well, before we go to the predictions, I just wanted this is neither a high nor a low, but I'm sure that
Okay.
you the two of you also felt that that Kendra fall when
Oof.
she fell and like on the balance beam on the beam. Like
Ooh.
as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my god, all of the guys watching will have felt that. So yeah, I just wanted
Yeah.
to bring that up. And
Yeah.
oh, and a question that I'd like to pose to you guys, because we found out that Kendra actually went to the Lulu Beach after their win last episode.
hmm
Do you think that they continued that and someone from the Reba tribe went to the Lulu Beach
Ooh.
as well?
Oh, I don't think so.
Did Jeff say it in his podcast? Because
No,
from the
no.
exit interview, Brandon did say Kendra did go one-on-one with them, like all of the 6 people,
Mm,
but
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did not know who she voted for.
She
mhm.
voted
Only
for
found
him,
out
right?
after
voted
the
for
fact.
Brandon,
Yeah,
yeah.
after the fact, like, oh wait, she voted for me. Like,
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Mm. So that was
Because
a
if it
one-time
were
thing.
if it
maybe
were a recurring thing,
it would have
they
happened.
would
They would have
have
shown it already,
the first one.
Mm.
Yeah. So
unless they
if
do
it's
like a flashback. This is what has been happening.
that'd be cool.
Because Jeff did say that well, at the very least, Kendra going to the Lulu Beach was gonna be important later on. Was gonna be something significant. I think that's what I heard from one of the podcasts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's my take on that.
Mm.
If it were truly that important, they would have shown it on the
Yeah.
episode. They have 90 minutes. They can cut out a couple of things here or there.
Mhm.
That entire intro sequence of episode 1 was probably a little bit too long.
Mhm.
So they could have snuck it in somehow. And second, if there was any sort of repercussion, um it's already done because Brandon is gone. The fact that
Mm.
she voted for Brandon was
true.
probably what Jeff was alluding to.
Oh.
In fact, that's why I wasn't surprised that Brandon was getting voted off. Like it was a theory that was like percolating,
Mhm.
that like Brandon is gonna get voted off because of that vote for Brandon and Jeff saying it was relevant or something.
Oh.
But you
Okay.
know, that's
Okay.
that's just my thought on it.
Yeah. I just wanted to, because it happened in the first episode. I wanted to know your thoughts on that, whether or not it happened as well here. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to predictions. Starting off with, whose line is it actually? So
Wait, whose
who did
line
we
was it in
say?
this episode?
No, for this episode it was Emily's.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
Emily talking about
Emily's.
herself.
We're gonna take the L on that one. We
Yeah.
said it was gonna be Jake.
Uh-huh.
I think I said
Talking
it
about a
was,
tea party.
Bruce. I thought it was Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So none of us
So
got it.
none of us got
Nah.
it. So who's
It's
gonna
all
say
the
no
blue.
man left behind?
No man left behind. Who do you got? Who do you have? Let's start with you, Joe.
Ooh, it's either the temptation is to go for Lulu again, right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
somebody from Lulu, because it's like, yeah, we gotta, there are four of us left. It's got to be like no man left behind, whatever. But it could also go to somebody from Reba. It could also go to somebody from the Kumbaya tribe. Like
Mhm.
it could
Oh.
be right. It could be like Drew saying,
Yeah, Drew.
no man left behind
Mhm.
when we
Wait,
come into the merge
you
or whatever.
Drew or Vasile?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it could be. It could be. I'm gonna say it's. I'm gonna say it's Drew. Just
Okay.
so that we're not going for. Just so that I'm not going for the completely obvious.
What about you, Marts?
I might go for the completely obvious and say Sifu.
No. Sifu. Why so?
Zen Master.
Who would he
The Zen Master.
be referring to? Or what would he be referring to?
For my tribe mates,
Oh.
there would be no man left behind. Oh, that whole
Mhm.
wushu thing or something.
Oh, okay. And he's doing Tai Chi, not
Yeah,
Wushu.
Tai Chi. Yeah, that
Uh,
Kung Lao. That Kung Lao.
anyway, so
Sorry.
for mine, I will go a different, and I'll go to the third tribe, the one that you
Mhm.
didn't mention, Joe. I will go to Bello, and I will read into Jake falling down in the next time
Oh, right,
on
yeah.
portion, and
Ooh.
I will say that it's Bruce
Oh,
saying that, you know what, no man left behind. We're gonna nurse you back to health and whatever, and yeah, that's how his facade will be shed. And Katur will say, you know what? That's what I've been talking about. Yeah.
That makes. I can also see that happening. I can also see it as like
a parallel to what happened to Bruce or something.
I can see it being a Sabaya line as well, right? She was in the Marines or something.
True.
Oh.
True. That actually makes a lot of sense. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Like,
yeah.
she's like, I'm not the biggest fan of Emily, but then in these challenges, like we say, the Marines, it's no man left behind, or something like that. But
nice.
I'm still gonna say Drew.
Drew.
Okay.
But I reserve I'd reserve the right to take a small L if it's
Sabaya.
if it's
Okay,
Sabaya.
I'll take that. Any other predictions that you've got for the next episode?
Are we going to be doing like the dude from Survivor season 2 that fell into the fire?
Oh,
wait, what dude
For
the,
season
what?
3? Who was it?
Season 2.
Australia
Outback.
You mean the
Scoopin'.
Scoopin'. Is this going to be a Scoopin' situation?
I don't know. Yeah, because he was sort of. I think that he was. It seemed as if he was falling into the fire, right?
Ooh. Hope not.
Well, I don't know.
It
that's
seems
why I'm
because there
asking
was
you guys.
smoke. There was smoke, and then he was
Smoke.
falling forward. and then he was
Smoke.
falling forward. I don't know.
Because there would have been like already rumors online about that. It's that big of a medical
I
thing,
don't know.
especially in this day and age.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, it's not a serious one. So I hope not.
Hmm.
But I avoid spoilers like the plague, right? So
Hmm.
Yeah.
like
so
if
I
ever
hope
anybody says like Survivor spoiler or whatever, I just fast forward it, or like I just close the tab or whatever. So
Mhm.
like I don't see Survivor spoilers. So
Mhm.
or is it just another red herring?
Probably is, but yeah, I decided to read into it with my prediction of who's gonna say the line. Uh, just so that I've got something. But now that you mentioned Sabaya, that makes so much more sense. Yeah. So anyway, a prediction that I've got. I hope. Well, it's not a prediction, much more hope that
hope.
Austin's idol isn't also encased in wax. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It could be like in a cage, and then he
Yeah.
needs to fashion the
Ooh.
key out of
Wax.
tools that are like scraps that are found around the camp, like right or something like that.
Yeah, or like they have fishing gear now, right? So like maybe they put it in one of the fish.
Just like what they did in the and that was just so
Oh.
yeah, that was so bad for production to do that in the previous season.
Wait,
That'd
what
be a little much, but
do you think the Blue Tribe's clue is gonna be?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we
Dear
haven't seen that
God.
yet. We haven't seen that
Is
yet.
Blue Tribe is Blue Tribe gonna get? I'm gonna say that they're gonna get their Beware advantage
Mm,
next episode.
probably.
It could be.
Who do you want it to go to?
I don't think it's gonna be Bruce.
You don't think it's gonna be Bruce? Why not?
It might be his nemesis.
Katura.
This might be the turning
Oh,
point
gosh.
where she says, "Guys, the Emperor has no clothes." I mean, Bruce, Bruce is playing us for fools, and they're like, "Yeah, we know. He's trying to be crazy uncle." Yes, he's trying to be crazy uncle. Like, what?
So we're saying that the shoe is gonna drop with Bruce in the next episode. I can kind of see that, right?
And
Like
everyone already gets that it's an act.
Yeah,
It's
even
just
I
that.
even I think Brando saw it. I
Yeah,
mean,
Brando
even
knows
Kendra
it.
sees it.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
that they don't see it as a threat. I mean,
it's a
they
threat.
don't
Yeah,
see him as a threat.
they just see him as just play that
He's one of
game,
us.
Bruce. Just play that game.
Because you can see all of the shots of Brando when they cut to the shots of Brando, his reaction shots, he doesn't look smitten or
Mm.
particularly enamored by Bruce, right? He looks like
Oh
it looks like
yeah, the robot. He's like,
yeah,
Oh, yeah, robot.
yeah.
Eh,
You can see you can almost see his eyes like glazing over and just sort of in bright flashing lights like okay boomer, and then and then just like forcing the tiniest of smiles, like that's the impression that I get from the reaction shots of Brandon of Brando. Whether or not those are actually his reactions
Mhm.
to what Bruce is doing, that's what production is showing us.
Yep.
That Brando isn't impressed,
Yeah.
or that he isn't particularly impressed.
It's not like, Woo to Cliff Robinson in like, oh dude, you're an NBA player. Like, oh dude, you're a Survivor player.
That was a really cool line from about Lulu.
What? Which
What
one?
plot?
From Sean? Was it Sean? Which one?
That they're like post LeBron.
Oh yeah. From Caleb.
Oh dear
LeBron
God,
after
that
he
is
left
true.
the Cavs the
Yeah,
first time.
Cleveland
Before the
post LeBron.
Kyrie.
Yeah.
Before the Kyrie
Yeah.
season. Dear God.
It's kind of weird though because he's Canadian, so he didn't refer to them being the Raptors after Kawhi left. But anyway,
I think he knew the Raptors sucked way before after Kawhi left. Especially the Damon Stoudemire years.
no, but I mean Cleveland
So-
also sucked before LeBron came.
Oh
Right?
dear God. It sucked a lot.
Oh, Stoudemire. Stoudemire is a lot like Brandon. So much
Yeah.
potential.
Zantebak had more potential than Brandon. I'm sorry, Brandon. Same Raptors team. Same Raptors team.
Anyway, those are any other predictions.
So we're
you got?
saying.
Okay,
So
okay.
what we're saying is that
What's up?
is that
For next
Katura
episode?
gets the idol, or that Katura
me,
gets
for me.
the
The clue.
the beware
The beware
advantage.
advantage.
Yes.
And
I can see that happening. It would be more fun if Kendra gets it.
oh,
Actually.
I'm hoping she does. I'm gonna manifest that
Justice.
into the. I'm gonna manifest that. I'm gonna manifest that with with the Janie wand motion.
No.
Right, that was her. That was her. What was her sound effect? Yeah. So it would be a lot of fun if Kendra gets it, because you know that she's gonna go hysterical.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that Kendra gets it. It's a manifesting to the universe.
All right, cool. All right. Let's go ahead and give our survivors of the week, starting with our castaway of the week. Who do you have as the one winning this week?
Caleb, of course.
Yeah, Caleb.
Like
Bang.
if
Over.
you know he's our consensus. Like I'm sure he's our consensus pick.
This episode. Yeah.
Also, I'm going to say Brandon.
Oh, come on, Joe's not gonna like that. Why, Brandon? Hajao.
Because he got
God.
because he got what he was looking for.
6
Like,
days
he
in
was-
Survivor.
Yeah, he was able
you
to
go.
get the Survivor experience that he
Mhm.
always wanted. You know, I'm sure he left it a better person than he was before, etc., etc. Like,
And
you know,
like Cochran, he got more dates now after he left the island.
Yeah,
He'll
yeah,
get
it's-
more
it's
dates
like-
on his second season
But
when he wins the million.
Cochran was
Just kidding.
playing a better game, though, even in his first season. He was endearing. I don't know if I find Brandon's gameplay endearing.
Oh no, his personality is just way off. Like I got turned off by Brandon's. Trust me. Because
Really?
Cochran is really lovable.
I mean, Cochran
Yeah.
is lovable.
If we
obviously.
compare Cochran to Brandon, all right.
You're
Brandon gives
you're
me
comparing Cochran to Brandon.
That's
Yeah,
not.
right.
That's
Let's not
you know,
compare.
Let's not go
Maybe
there. Let's
Big
not.
Wendy to Brandon. That's
going.
a
back
better
to,
one.
Going back to your point,
Yeah.
Ja, why you
your
have
point.
Brandon as also your castaway of the week?
Because he was able to get the Survivor experience that he wanted, and he's a changed man, I suppose. Like
Yes.
Perhaps
He will be more wary of slippery rocks.
yes, one, he'll be more wary of slippery rocks, but two, I feel like this is going to be something that turns him into, the metaphor I'm going to use is a pretty bad one, but it's like that butterfly coming out of the cocoon.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Right? Like this was like Survivor was his sort of trial by fire or whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm sure he's gonna come out of it like a better person. And plus we get like all of the memes.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully,
So the real
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
The
yeah,
real
finish,
winners.
finish,
so
finish
so
it.
the real winners here are just the Survivor fandom.
the meme lords of Survivor. Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
really do hope,
Survivor.
because like what I said in our first episode, after the first episode aired, I was hoping that he would get a redemption arc. And I'm hoping that what happened to him in his 6 days allows him to recalibrate his life, recalibrate his strengths. No, because I'm sure that he's strong. He's got a lot of strengths, and like what you said, he comes out of this a better guy, right? And gets him that self awareness that allows him to reapply and do a whole lot better. Get in the beast,
Nah.
stay in the game a whole lot longer.
I have
The
a feeling
Game
where he's gonna
changers.
fly.
Yeah,
Game changers. He's gonna be game changers.
yeah, he's a game changer.
Because he showed us that somebody with scoliosis can make it to day 6.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, well.
What about you? What about you, Marts?
Well, my
Who's your
prediction is
castaway of the
he
week?
is gonna apply, but in another reality TV show.
Big
Mm.
Brother.
Yeah, actually,
Did he already?
applied for Big Brother.
He did?
No, he
Oh,
might
okay.
apply for Big Brother.
I think he'd do very well.
He'd do
said that
very
he was
well.
gonna-
No, I think he would do very
Yeah.
well in like the mole.
Oh shit, that
Oh.
too. Yeah. Oh
He
my
would be
God.
amazing in the mole.
Hmm.
Maybe the traders, but like more the
Traders.
mole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole, not too physical.
Traders is more for the survivors that they send.
Yeah.
They're like the more villainous.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's
The
not. He's
survivor.
lovable. He's too lovable.
Yeah, but then that would be
Yeah.
a game changer if they send a lovable survivor
Yeah.
and he becomes.
But
a
I think
traitor.
I think he'd do better in the mole.
Mm.
Because assuming that he starts to know his strengths and all of that, he's going to be the guy that's not getting the money.
Mm.
All right.
Right? He's going to be the guy that's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to climb Mount Everest or whatever. Anyway. So yeah. Like the the survivor of the week with the big S is Caleb, and the survivor of the week with the small S is Brandon.
Brandon. What about you,
Yeah,
Mark?
I'm
Who do you
hoping
have?
it's the beginning of his redemption arc. You know?
Yes. Anyway, what about you, Mark? Who's your survivor or castaway of the week?
Oh, obviously Caleb. Like I said,
Caleb.
like
Yeah.
wow, he reared in Emily to his awaiting arms and say, "Yes, come with me if you want to live."
No, he's actually Palpatine bringing in Anakin into the dark side.
Good.
Yeah, I like that. I like that more. He
That's
becomes
Palpatine.
he's the villain. He's the villain.
Yeah.
So
And
this is
then-
slow turn.
Yes. Yeah, well, I do also have like what Zhao said. He's right. This is consensus. Our castaway of the week is Caleb. Yeah, really looked like a leader. Coached Emily back to social health, somewhat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's our castaway of the week for this week. Goat of the week.
This is also consensus. Brandon.
No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know that we've tried, right, not to let the guy voted out be the goat of the week. Yeah, but I will say this: I had him as my goat of the week. So if Zhao, you had a goat of the a castaway of the week with a capital C, or survivor of the week with a capital S, and then the survivor of the week with a small letter S. For me, I've got a goat of the week Brandon and a goat of the week non-Brandon. My goat of the week non-Brandon are all the guys around the world seeing Kendra fall on that platform. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ouch.
So yeah. I don't suppose, Marts, you have any other goat of the week?
Well, I do actually.
Oh, nice.
Aside from
Oh.
Brandon, because I really feel bad about her, like her future. If they can't believe her, if she's gonna be the one that cried wolf in the blue tribe.
Oh, Katura.
Mm.
Yeah, because like her first episode was so strong. Like, yeah, I'm also a lawyer, and I'm here with a
Mhm.
younger lawyer who's in his young phase. Like, yeah, I just passed the bar. I'm gonna be a public defense. That thing. Because they played her out as the silent smart type, like maybe as a Refields builder, but now it's like, why are these guys not seeing what I'm seeing? Sometimes that spells trouble. Sometimes it's like, girl, you crazy. He's all right. We're voting you out. That's a problem. That I'm scared for her. I hope it's just a one episode thing, because I really think if she overcomes this edit for this episode, she can go in deep in the game. She can actually be a good, a post-merge player. Even at best, maybe the final three.
Yeah, that's
If she
a
can
good
be.
point. That's a good point.
My non-Brandon goat of the week is Emily, Because she's going to be brought to the end by Caleb, but she's going to win.
She's going to win. All
Go
right.
to win.
Like
the winning goat. The winning goat.
Like Marianne from Survivor 44 or 42. I'm an Emily truther.
Okay, yeah, that's good points. Now let's go to our purple of the week. What you got?
Oh God, this is hard. Everyone had a confessional.
Yeah, everyone had a confessional. I actually had a
Maybe-
really tough time figuring out who my purple of the week was going to be.
Maybe
just
can I
to
vote the
round
one
it out, Brandon.
Brandon. We didn't have enough Brandon. No, just kidding. Now, for me, I wish the purple of the week was the freaking immunity idol. Now that you guys mentioned it last episode, I'm like, really, Jeff, that's the idol. That's
The
the
wings.
why is it like you want the beak to be more pronounced? Are you saying something? Is this your new stick and ball reference now? Because you can't say balls anymore, or you can't hold the stick. Is it long enough? Is it strong enough? And yes, he said that in a lot of challenges. Like, dear God. I'm not even gonna tell you about the shape of the head.
You know that it looks like the World Cup.
Exactly.
Thank God you said the World Cup. Yeah,
It looks like the World
yeah.
Cup.
It
When
could be
when they did that shot showing it, it was like, whoa, it's the World Cup. It
But it's
belongs
got a
in the
beak.
hands of Brazilian. My purple of the week is Lulu's fire.
It's non-existent yet.
Yeah.
Non-
Yeah, and it's very important, especially for Subaya.
Fire is
Yeah.
life. What?
Yeah, if fire is life, then like Lulu's dead.
Hashtag
And-
Lululuuya.
Yeah, man. Lulu.
Anyways, yeah, my purple of the week is the fact that anyone was supposed to be purpled. So my purple of the week is the purple of the week.
The switcheroo.
The switcheroo. Yeah, I ran out of ideas, so I went with a funny one. So yeah, it's really hard. It's getting really hard because of these 90-minute run times, which we enjoy, of course. But it's getting harder for us to come up with something for this part of our episode.
Yeah, that's what. But starting like last season, right? We started making the purple of the week just pretty much a joke, right?
Yeah.
It's the thing that I look forward to the most in our podcast to see what we can come up with.
Anyway, any other thoughts?
Although I do like the goat of the week,
Yeah,
being
yeah.
all of the guys that collectively went.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh my God!" I felt that. Ah, imagine if that had been Bruce Brando or who's the other guy? Jake. Oh,
Yeah,
they would have been out of commission.
yeah.
Is there a Boston term for that if Jake felt it?
I don't know. Anyway, any other thoughts, guys?
I'm good. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna make one more prediction, but this is not something for next week necessarily. We're gonna have a return of that like foot. You use your feet to build a tower.
And
Challenge.
D is gonna be so good at that.
And D is going to just absolutely destroy it.
Mhm.
Or maybe
that's
they
for
didn't
much
pick
later on.
D.
What were you saying,
should
Max?
have- Or they didn't pick her to do that. Totally forgetting that happened. And
It's
D's like,
an individual challenge, though, right? That's traditionally an individual
Yeah,
challenge.
it's a post merge
Where they-
challenge.
I hope
It's
so.
a post merge challenge. So that's I'll just
Throw it
yeah,
out
you're
there.
mark
Pencil
that.
it down. Pencil it down.
yeah, because I've been making a lot of predictions lately about like who's gonna make it into the merge.
Mm.
So there's another one.
Yeah, D getting into the merge. Alrighty then. There's nothing else. So that's it for this episode of the Council of Titos. If you like this episode, please drop a like and share this episode if you can. And also consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll get notified whenever we come up with new content on this channel. And for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs as we talk Survivor, you can catch us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Council of Titos. Anyway, this has been Chief Bisdak Joel Parcon.
I'm Jao. Toot.
Martin.
Where'd you go?
All right. Oh, wow. Martin really vanished. We hope that you can join us on the council again soon. Until then, stay safe, everyone. The Titos have spoken.